What if I told you, before Dracula haunted our nightmares, there was a real man who turned fear into a weapon? A prince who left forests of corpses, who made entire empires tremble, and whose cruelty still echoes 6 centuries later. This is the true story of Vlad the Impaler. Born in 1431 in Transylvania, Vlad III's life began in blood. His father, Vlad II, bore the name Dracula, the dragon, as part of the Order of the Dragon, sworn to fight the Ottoman Empire. But childhood ended quickly. At just 11, Vlad and his brother were taken hostage by the Ottomans. They were pawns in a political game, raised in enemy courts. Vlad was beaten, humiliated, and taught one brutal truth. Survival demanded fear. When he finally returned home, he was no longer a boy. He was a weapon. Wallachia was a land of chaos, treacherous nobles, rival warlords, and the shadow of the Ottoman war machine. Vlad seized power with iron will and blood-soaked hands. His signature punishment? Impalement. Wooden stakes lined the roads, each carrying a corpse of traitors, criminals, and enemies. Thousands at a time. A macabre warning written in blood and wood. When the Ottomans marched with a massive army, they found the infamous Forest of the Impaled. 20,000 bodies on stakes, rotting in the sun. The sight alone made hardened soldiers turn back in horror. Vlad had discovered something terrifying. Fear could fight armies. Whispers of his cruelty raced across Europe. German pamphlets described him as a sadist who boiled people alive, mutilated women, even dined while surrounded by corpses. To the West, he was a monster. But to some in Eastern Europe, he was a necessary evil. One who defended his land against invaders. Centuries later, these legends reached an Irish writer named Bram Stoker. In 1897, Stoker published Dracula, a Gothic novel about an immortal vampire lord. He borrowed Vlad's name, Dracula, son of the dragon. He borrowed Vlad's homeland, Transylvania. And he borrowed Vlad's aura of fear. Stoker gave Dracula fangs and immortality, but he didn't have to invent cruelty. History had already written that part. Vlad's reign was short and violent. Betrayal surrounded him. Allies turned against him. Eventually, he was captured, imprisoned, restored to power, only to be killed in battle. His head was sent to the Ottoman Sultan, displayed on a spike. The man who impaled thousands met the same fate he had given others. But death did not end his legend. 6 centuries later, the name Vlad Dracula still drips with fear. To some, he was a national hero who stood against the Ottomans. To others, he was a tyrant who bathed his land in blood. Perhaps he was both. And maybe that's why his story endures, because sometimes history creates monsters far more terrifying than myth. So tell me, was Vlad the Impaler a hero protecting his homeland, or a monster who became worse than the enemies he fought? Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe and explore the untold stories history tried to bury. Thanks for watching.